It's time for a special edition of ACC Baseball Etc., presented as always by our friends at Academy Sports and Outdoors. In honor of their service and support for our country, Academy Sports and Outdoors is providing 10% off for military, veterans, and first responders in-store or online through July 4th. Plus, always enjoy free in-store pickup on online orders. Redeem your 10% off at your local store with a valid military, veteran, or first responder ID, or online at academy.com/discount. Exclusions apply. Again, that is academy.com/discount for details. I'm Daron Vaught. We are nearing the end of the Super Regionals. Therefore, we are nearing the beginning of the College World Series in Omaha. And I've got with me a participant in said College World Series, Eddie King Jr. of the Louisville Cardinals. Eddie, good to see you. I appreciate you doing this. Can I start with something broad here? Winning the Super Regional, getting to Omaha, you're in between all of it now, so maybe you've had a beat to kind of think about it and let it soak in. What does it mean to you at this point in your career?
It's a really good way for me to go out, being in my senior year, being here for 4 years, it's a really special way to end my college career, I'd say. But going to Omaha is, everybody wants to go there in college baseball. So, just being one of the 8 teams, one of the few guys to be able to go, it's really special, honestly. And I'm really glad I have the chance to.
Yeah. Describe for me the journey. You are, if I'm not mistaken, the last player remaining within the program from your class that initially entered, right?
Yeah.
It's been like roller coaster, right?
For sure.
To start where you did for your collegiate career.
Yeah.
And then get it to this point. And I know you guys are going to Omaha with the mindset of trying to win, but to get it here, it's got to feel like some pretty cool full circle type stuff.
Yeah, like you saying, the roller coaster is like feeling of the my college career. That's what I feel like that makes this moment even better. Just having the success that we're having right now, it's really cool to see, really cool to experience and be a part of this. So I'm not taking anything for granted at this point. Never do that. But yeah, just have the past few years. It's been a little rough, and I'm honestly happy for Coach. Because I feel like he's been really stretched out a little bit, but at the same time, he always tries to. He knows what he's doing, so he really pours into us and motivates us. So it's just really cool to see him have the success that he's having at this moment. And yeah, we're trying to get the program back to where it's been, getting to Omaha consistently. So it's just really cool to see.
First trip to Omaha for the Cards since 2019. I do want to talk about your head coach, Coach Mack, as he is known, Dan McDonnell. He is responsible for like all of, if not most of, the program's success, right? I mean, like it's unbelievable what he has done there in a short, relatively speaking, amount of time. He's been there for a while now, but what drew you to committing to Louisville at the time in your first interactions with him? And then what's something now that you know about Coach that you maybe didn't then?
What made me want to come here is definitely because of how good the baseball program is and all the success that they were having. But it was also only a 4-hour drive from home, so I felt like it was a perfect fit for me. And yeah, just at this point though, just being around Coach Mack for so long, I get to see how he interacts with all of us, and certain moments he gets really frustrated with us. So that's something to see with him. But I mean, that's just like every coach, they have different moments where they get mad at us, and they're all they're happy for the most part. But Yeah, I'm glad I came here, and I'm so glad I have that connection with Coach Mack at this point. So I wouldn't want to change it for anything.
So if I'm not mistaken, you chose between Louisville and Miami as
Yeah.
a recruit, right? Okay, so I mentioned full circle stuff. Did that cross your mind at all during the super regional? There's like, this is kind of funny. It's my last ride,
Mm-hmm.
and it just so happens that I'm playing in a super regional against Miami.
Mm-hmm. You know, somebody had reminded me yesterday. I forgot who, but it made me think about it a little bit. But that just goes to show you. I feel like this baseball program is just really special, and we're really just trying to get it back to the standard. Because this isn't anything new for this program, and that's how it should be. So that was just it was really cool to be able to play against Miami and that program. They have a really special team over there, so it was really nice.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, too, especially as far as recent history is concerned,
Mm-hmm.
historically great programs in the
Yeah.
ACC. So just cool to see that clash anyway. But I assumed from your perspective, it's a little bit different because of that dynamic. This is the hard hitting journalism here, Eddie. Okay,
Uh-huh.
I see the dye or the bleach
Yeah.
in the beard there. Who was the first player on the team to do that, and how did it catch on?
So we all decided to dye our hairs for postseason, but the first guy that did this was George Baker, and I seen him. I was like, okay, I kind of want to do it too. So I ended up doing it, but yeah, I really didn't want to dye my hair because I didn't want to have to dye it back or cut it. So yeah, I think that was just like a perfect way for me to dye my hair blonde. So yeah, George Baker, he definitely kind of inspired me with this one.
Okay, nice. Could you describe your relationships with the guys on the team? I know that's a lot because they're all their own individuals, and I'm sure
Right.
they're different relationships. But I'm thinking about like you and a guy like Zion Rose.
Mm-hmm.
You're from the same area, generally speaking.
Right.
Both committed to this program through, I'm sure, opportunities to go elsewhere and come back for this season. So maybe we start with Zion. What's that relationship like?
He's like a little brother to me. We knew each other back at home for a while now, but we also hit together with Ro Coleman. I don't know if you ever heard that name.
Yeah.
But yeah, we hit with Ro Coleman all the time back in Chicago. So we honestly made a connection that way too, but also played a little bit against him in high school when he was at Brother Rice before he went to IMG. So yeah, it was cool, and yeah, he always be a brother to me. We're really close, really tight. So yeah, we have a special bond.
Yeah. Okay. What's the dynamic with everybody else on this team?
We're
I mean,
all
I know you guys are close.
right.
How else would you describe it?
Um, I definitely say it's like a bunch of just like I don't want to call us idiots, but we could be goofy at times. So yeah, I guess it's just we're all just a bunch of brothers, just having fun playing baseball. And we've been together for so long, so we all know how like each other act, how to interact with each other. So it's just I think that's what makes us such a special group too. So we can go out on the baseball field. We know what everybody can do, how everybody plays. So we just try to keep everybody up, and we need everybody in this. So we try to motivate each other and play for each other.
Yeah, that's good. To be fair, you can call yourselves idiots, right? It's worked before.
Yeah.
You were younger in 2004 with the Boston Red Sox. That was kind of their thing, right? Bunch of idiots, but it worked. They rallied behind it, so I'll allow it.
Yeah.
I had my question and just lost it because of that. Oh, you've answered this before. I know you've talked about it. I would like for you to talk about it again. The Eddie chants over the weekend. I mean, like, come on, man. Not everybody gets that. And part of it is you get an easy name. It's 2 syllables. You can turn it into a chant. Not that everybody, you can, there's a cadence you could do with anybody's name, I guess. But
Yeah.
What was that like? How did it hit your ear?
It was really cool when I first heard it. It didn't seem real, honestly. Like I didn't think they were actually chanting my name at first, but then when I actually heard it, like for sure, it was just like something special to me. It means everything, honestly. Like especially like just being here for so long and seeing how much the fans support me. So I always know I got Louisville behind me. So I think that makes me have a little bit more confidence in what I'm doing. And I'm so glad I get to play in front of that crowd and do what I did in front of them too. So I'm so glad I can make them happy.
What makes a crowd like that at Jim Patterson Stadium so special as it is? And it's its own type of special, right? Like you go across the country to other environments, other atmospheres. There's nothing like this one. How would you describe it?
It was incredible, how loud it was. I don't think it was like never really a moment in the game where everybody got quiet, except for like when the last fly ball that they hit, everybody got quiet, just like was trying to make sure like that was the last out being recorded. So, but yeah, just playing in front of a crowd like this I loved it. I really took it all in, and it's just something you would like just never forget and like just take it to the grave.
Yeah. What has it hit you yet that you mentioned it earlier? Every college baseball team, college baseball player, the goal is to get to Omaha. Has it hit you yet that here in, maybe a couple of days, you guys are going to be going and you're going to be in Omaha at the College World Series?
Yeah, it hit me. It really hit me this morning. Like I was just thinking, like, wow, like I feel like I came so far, and we actually, like we came far as a team, and I had the struggles in my career, so it makes me feel really good at how like I can help the team as much as I can. So that's just what I want to keep doing. Try to help my team out, get us a national championship, make the fans proud, just give them something to talk about.
You mentioned the downtimes, and I don't want to dwell on these, but I think it's beneficial to talk about. Like we've got some younger players I know who
Right.
subscribe and listen to the show.
Mm-hmm.
What comes to mind when you say or I mention like the lowest point for you as a player through your time at Louisville, and like, well, I don't know, what did you lean on to get out of that?
I definitely say like it's really. I remember last year, the beginning of the season, I was playing horrible, but I talked to my dad a lot, and we always was just talking about like never give up, never give in. My mom always told me like, God's got me, God's favor looks good on me. So she those two alone, really supported me throughout my whole journey. And that's what they do as parents. I love them. They've been there every step of the way. So it's just I really go to my dad a lot about try to talk it out with him just whenever I feel like I'm struggling. But yeah, he helped me a lot through the lowest parts of my career.
Yeah. What's clicked this year? I was looking at your career stats earlier, and I mean, man, you've got so many more extra base hits this season. 18 doubles, 17 homers, 1 triple. Like that's got to be something that changed for you, whether physical or in your approach. Like and maybe there are other changes that you made, not just in the box, but in the field or whatever. Like what are the biggest changes for you this season compared to a year ago, 2 years ago?
Definitely got a little stronger, gained some weight. I think I gained 15-ish pounds from last year, I believe. So I think that helps me a lot, but it's also I feel like the experience that I have and kind of figuring out what's coming my way, like what pitches and what situations. So, because with the way the way that I play, I try to pick a pitch out and I just try to crush it, like just try to do damage. Like I'm not trying to hit the ball and just like you know, um, get like a ground ball single unless I have two strikes. Then that's perfectly fine. But I'm just I think I just try to be situational and just know what's coming my way. I think that's really helped me out. I feel like that's like most of where my success comes from.
Looking ahead, have you, and maybe the processing hasn't quite caught up to this point yet, but it's going to have to, because you're going to be there. You're going to be with your teammates playing in these situations.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing as how you are a senior, and I think you can. I think you're with me here. Younger players can tend to think in a way that, like, if somebody's got another year on this team,
Mm-hmm.
be like, oh yeah, we'll be here next year. It's that easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you given any thought to your leadership style as it pertains specifically to this? Like, I don't know that this is the case. It feels like a pretty level-headed group, but maybe there's a younger guy where you just gotta kind of snap him back into it and be like, no, dude, you got to be in the moment, because this might be it. You know what I mean? This is not a guarantee
Right.
moving forward. Have you thought about like how your leadership is going to impact the next couple of weeks for this team?
See, yeah, it's crazy you say that, because we always talk about like how this team could be like the best team that anybody's ever played on, like freshman through senior. So we always tell the young guys, like, do it now and don't wait till like, next year or your junior year and try to, just do big things. But, we always talk about do it now and, because they might not ever get to Omaha and they may not even ever play in the postseason ever again. You just never know. But that's why, we always talk about that. So, just we always say do it now and don't because this could be the best team that you just ever be a part of.
Do it now. I like that. That feels like a Coach Mack special.
Exactly. Yeah.
What has he brought to the table? I know a lot of the times he'll have like a book that you guys read in the fall, something that sort of builds a mantra around a team. What has he injected into this version of the Cardinals?
He's put a lot into us, but we're reading the Energy Bus book right now. Have you ever heard of that one?
Energy Bus. Okay. No, I don't think I'm familiar with that.
We're on that right now. It's just always talking about like, just bring energy, play with juice, don't be a energy vampire, which is just like basically don't be a bad teammate and bring others down. No pity parties, none of that stuff. So just always have energy and bring everything you got to the table, play for your teammates, all of that good stuff. So yeah, he's been important to us a lot about things like that.
Okay. John Gordon, it's the Energy Bus, 10 rules to fuel your life, work, and team with positive energy. Yeah, that feels so Coach Mack, it hurts. That's good. Nice. So I'm gonna hone in back on the super regionals.
Okay.
In those moments when you come through for your team in a big moment, how do you? We talked about the Eddie chants. You mentioned how loud the crowd was. Do you hear crowds often when you play? I've talked to guys and it's kind of different, right? Like you kind of lock in and you don't even really notice, because I noticed you said it took a minute to catch on to the Eddie chants. Is that just because you were kind of zoned in and I don't know if you've seen For Love of the Game, but Kevin Costner's character, the pitcher, he does this thing where he clears the mechanism and it makes everything quiet around him. I don't know if you've got your own version of that, but like in those moments, are you hyper aware of everything, or are you just kind of locked in?
I tend to be a little locked in, but there are some times where I listen to people, and just I can hear pretty much everything, but for the most part, I normally don't hear too much of anything. I mean, you can hear people cheering and all of that stuff whenever it's loud, but for the most part, I don't really pay attention to any of that.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that's most guys, right? It's
Yeah.
Your head is in so many different places to begin with, right? Like you're checking down at third, you're observing, okay, what's the situation? Small nuances with a pitcher, maybe you're trying to pick up on something, that sort of thing. So that checks out. Nice. What comes to mind when you think of, and hopefully you're going to create some new ones, favorite memories as a Louisville Cardinal? You can even go back a couple of years if you want and list a couple off. I've got some that I think would come to mind for you, but I want to see if your reaction is the same as mine.
Definitely going back to last year against Notre Dame, that week I had getting the ACC Player of the Week. That was a very good memory. Playing at Vanderbilt, that this regional we just had, that's going to always be a really good memory for me. And then, obviously the super regional, the dog pile, that's got to be number one for me. That's got to be number one.
You guys, I love a good dog pile. I think I'm with a bunch of college baseball fans, so I always get a little hyped up when I see one.
Mm-hmm.
Is that instinctive? Was there any like maybe pull back the reins because you don't want to get anybody hurt? Like what's going through your brain during a dog pile?
No, I think we just went all in. Like nobody was even like thinking about anything. But me personally, I just want to be on the top. I'm not trying to be under all those guys. It's too heavy, too many people.
What was the best thing you saw or heard someone say to you or to somebody else in the celebration?
I say when Justin came up to me, he was just telling me like how much he appreciated me and how like well I was doing. And like it's just because he's been with me for so long too. He came in here, he was a senior in high school, and he came to college a semester early in the spring. So he's been here just as long as I've been here, basically. But yeah, I think that moment when he came up to me, he was just telling me like how much he appreciated me and like how well I was doing. And like, yeah, it was just very it was a special moment for me.
Yeah, I love that. God, I love that. Now, what about, you gave me sort of the highlights on the field, ACC Player of the Week at the end of the year last year. You mentioned, what was that, 5 home runs in a weekend? I mean, you went bananas. Obviously, you're playing well right now.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite memories not involving play on the field?
Okay. I say just being with the guys, hanging out at somebody's house, or like even when we'll do like bowling nights sometimes with the position players, and then the pitchers, they I think have movie nights. So I remember it was one day where we just as a team or players, we just decided to go to our meeting room and watch a movie in there one night. So it's just, things like that you will never forget that, and just being with brothers. So yeah, it's really cool.
Nice. Are you an all right bowler or no?
I'm very okay. I'm nothing special.
Love that. What, in your estimation, what needs to happen for the Cards to come away with a national championship next week?
I say if we keep pitching like we do, we bring the bats to the stadium, put up some real crooked numbers. I think we are just as good as anybody. I think we can win a national championship if we, just do the simple things, pitch, defend, hit. If we put all 3 of those together, then I think we got it.
Yeah. You mentioned the pitching. I saw Patrick Forbes and Tucker Biven over the summer with Team USA. What makes those guys tough to hit when they're going?
I mean, they just got electric stuff. You know, Pat, he throws gas. You know, then he got some good off speed to go with it. He has a cutter now too, so that just makes it even harder. But Tucker as well. You know, hard sinkers, 95. He has a good slider. He has some changeups too. So it's just, you know, whenever you have stuff like that and you already throw hard, you know, it's so hard to hit. So when you got balls moving all types of ways, it makes it really hard to hit.
When was the last time you would have hit against either of those guys?
After the ACC tournament, we had a couple at bats against some pitchers. I'm not sure if I hit against either of them. I know I hit against Pat in the fall.
Yeah,
in the fall, and Tucker, I remember hitting against him in the spring, like the early spring games.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. How'd you do? I feel like those are the sorts of guys that in the fall or in the spring, if you square one up on Patrick Forbes, like that's got to do so much for your confidence going into the season.
It
right?
Definitely it'll make you feel great. It'll make you feel great.
Nice, man. Well, I appreciate the time. I know it's going to be a busy week. You guys have not yet departed for Omaha, but you're going to enjoy it. I know I don't got to tell you to be in the moment. It feels like you're pretty good at that. So stay in it. And I wish you guys the best of luck there in the College World Series. Thanks, Eddie.
I appreciate you so much. Thank you.